Now, you may know him from Channel 4's Rise and Fall. It's your grafter turned leader from Newport, the gorgeous James Allen. Hi, James, and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
You're very welcome. How's life been since obviously Rise and Fall?
Life has been busy. I've been very lucky to have some opportunities come my way. I am still working my boring 9 till 5. I'm not gonna lie.
Still
Um,
juggling, hustling.
the struggle is real. I'm working like 3 jobs now, two 9 till 5s, and then and I do all my fitness instruction and PT on the side as well as all of that as well. So I'm a busy bitch at this point in time. But yeah, blessed at the moment. But how are
Booked and
you?
blessed. No, I'm all
But
good. Obviously, setting up a podcast is quite fun. I've definitely
I
found it a
know.
bit like more challenging than I thought. But we're getting there, and obviously trying to manifest a studio. So for now, we've got a virtual room, but
hmm
just working on it as we go along, basically. But yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm so excited to chat with you. I loved watching the show, and I thought it was a really
Good.
interesting concept. So let's just like kind of dive into that for a hot second. It's not what we're going to talk
Yeah.
about the whole episode, but obviously Rise and Fall, brand new show for Channel 4, never been seen before. How how did that all come about for you? That whole experience, like how did that happen?
So Rise and Fall happened basically literally because I applied to go on the show. Like I
Really?
found it on Channel 4's website, I applied for it and thought, why not see if I can get on it? Because there's a very interesting concept in it that sort of mirrors life that we live right now. And I just thought, let's just jump on it. So I did, and long story short, did all the auditions and I got called up to basically go on the show on the Thursday. And on the Tuesday after it, I was filming.
Wow,
Wild.
that
Wild,
quick.
yeah.
And
But just
like,
a bit of insider tea.
yeah,
The week that I was called up, the Monday, I was actually told I wasn't going on the show.
no.
So I had no time to prepare. So the Thursday, they called me and said, "We've had a change of heart. We absolutely love you. We don't want to do it without you. Can you come to London tomorrow?" Bearing in mind I live in Wales, so I had to pack 3 weeks worth of clothes, get my eyebrows done, get my hair done, and prepare myself to leave work and my life for 3 weeks in 12 hours.
Yeah, with all that most important bits to do, get prepped and primed for the show. It's your debut, hun. You
Absolutely,
got it
yeah.
great. Um,
Thank you.
how was work with that kind of like dropping it at like the last minute? Was it did that all
Well,
work
they
out
were
well?
okay because I planned ahead. I basically said, look, this could be happening. I'm on like the final stage of this show. I've literally got to do a doctor's appointment and a physical examination, and I
Mhm.
could or could not be going on. So it's 50-50. So can we prepare that I might need 3 weeks off? And they were like, yeah, that's fine. We'll prepare it.
That was good,
So that it
handy.
was good. It was all in place.
To be fair, I don't actually think it's that uncommon now, is it? Because like I remember like when I did the cabins, I literally I had to just leave at the last minute because that was all like to do with like fitting people in at certain points, so we never really knew when we were going to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, my to be fair, my bosses were actually pretty chill. But I mean, obviously, some people probably wouldn't get it. They're like, "What are you doing? where are you going?" Um,
Yeah.
and then you kind of also completely untouchable, like, unreachable for like 3 weeks. That's what other thing people don't realize. I don't know if that was the same for you.
We were complete. So we had to isolate for 4 days. So it was a straight. It was really weird. So obviously, you went from normal life to back to COVID times, so we had to isolate. Couldn't leave the room. We had to be chaperoned to go for air like once a day,
Yeah.
um, and we had to like order our food in and everything like that. So then we were sort of taken away from society. Obviously, we had our phones, and then we're put into this environment then for 3 weeks where we didn't know anybody. So they almost like kept us pent up to be able
Yeah.
to want to talk again for like 4 days. The only people I could speak to was like my family or friends, or like this person who was like knocking my door to give me my food and do my COVID tests
So that's mental.
for 4 nights. It was wild. It was wild.
You literally like, yeah, you fall off the face of the earth. And then like, I remember when I got my phone back. My phone, I mean, like, Love Island must be wild. If you're doing Love Island, you're in there for 6 weeks, and you're like there to the end, your phone must go off. But like, my phone was pinging left, right, and centre. Like people were like, where are you? Where have you gone? Like people genuinely were worried about my welfare. But it is
Oh my
crazy.
god. Yeah,
You just
people were worried
literally
about mine too.
you just disappear. Like they just don't know where you are.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had quite a journey on the show, didn't you? Because you started off as a grafter, and then you promoted yourself up to the penthouse, which is pretty
Mhm.
jammy. How was that power shift for you, like in the show?
So Do you know what? When I first went in, I thought, oh, I'd love to just be a ruler because the bougie lifestyle is just
Mm.
me. I love it. I do love the bouge. But
Tell me
I'm
all.
happy it happened the way it did because starting as a grafter, you literally learn to appreciate the basics of life. Even though I was there for 5 days, it sounded like I was there for a year, right? I was in the
Yeah.
basement for 5 days. We had literally nothing but cold water, bread, and soup, and a toothbrush and soap.
Oh,
And that was it. There was no behind the scenes of going to have a cigarette or going to, you know, have food off. What you saw was what you got, and that was it for five
really?
days. So it went from having nothing to having everything in such a short space of time. You have no power to literally having
Yeah.
the power over a group of 10 people who now live below you, but also eliminating people from winning potentially £100,000. But then you're also at risk every single day. So your mindset needs to quickly switch from, oh, I'm just having a really fun time getting to know these people to, right, how can I protect myself, but how can I
Mm.
win?
That's mad. Did not
Yeah.
give you toothpaste?
We had toothpaste,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You didn't say
Everything
that.
was
And I was
Colgate.
like,
I reckon they took the labels off, but it was like, the tubes were like the long where you press it down.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I
not a
think it was
vibe.
Colgate and these bamboo toothbrushes. They were the worst toothbrushes. I was brushing my teeth like 4 times a day because they were not doing anything for these teeth.
No, they're not good. I'm
It was
all
a struggle.
electric. Yeah, no, it's not a vibe. You can't. I don't think you get a proper clean out of a bamboo brush. Like that's actually wild. So then obviously then you went to the penthouse and then you had that power.
Yeah.
Do you know what? To be fair, actually looking back as well, it was pretty tough for you in there because the first episode, for example, when you're doing like the electric, I don't know what you're doing, but you're going to get electrocuted basically.
Yeah.
And that's intense. And
Ah.
then it's Ramona. I think goes like they can do more, like push you to extreme. Like how was that? Like literally giving someone complete autonomy of what you did basically in that situation.
For me, it was hard to understand why they were pushing us the way they did. But
Mm,
also, again, it's money for somebody to win. So
yeah.
when you're in it, it's hard. But when you're on the outside, it's so much different to look at it. But in that moment, I hated it because I like having. I'm very not OCD. I'm not a control freak, but I'd like to be the power of my own destiny.
Yeah.
Like I don't like to give anybody else a reason for me to do something or to fail. So to give that power in that sense, I absolutely hated it. But at the same time, like we're on a TV show getting electrocuted. It's just funny. It's just fun. Like it was painful, but it wasn't like, oh my god, crippling pain. It was like, oh
Okay.
wow, that's a shock. Do you know what I mean?
Did you know that was going to be the case before you went on? Like, how much did they really tell you about what to expect?
So when we did like the in-person auditions, they actually said to us, it's a bit like I'm a celebrity mixed with Big Brother.
Okay, I think
And
that's
that's
fair.
basically what it was, right? With a
Yeah.
little bit of the traitors and I'm an apprentice mixed in with that boardroom situation that we had.
Mhm.
Um, I sort of didn't know we were going to get electrocuted. I did not think I'd be eating dog food either.
No.
So
No. Okay. So there was some like a few surprises for you in that moment as well.
there was so many surprises because that show has never been done. Rise and Fall has never
Mm.
been filmed, so we had no blueprint to go off. We made the blueprint. So if that show gets made ever again, people are going to be able to go back and refer and see what happened and what they should and shouldn't do. But we had to go in it completely blind. So you would like. There was times where I thought, right, am I going to wake up and be like automatically eliminated for something today? Like you had
Mm.
no idea what was going to happen. Everything was brand new
Yeah.
every
I guess.
second of every day. It was like living in fear for 3 weeks.
So
Mm.
obviously the show really looked at the dynamic of power and everything else, and obviously you really sort of took the leap and threw yourself into that extreme situation. What have you learned or taken from that experience, or have you not taken anything from it?
Um, I learned that to trust your gut and trust in the power of your own intuition 100%, because there was people in that show and the way that they played people were playing the game, I knew they were playing it right, and I just had to
Mm.
make sure I was protecting myself at all costs. So I learned that my gut is always right and my instincts are always right. And
Yeah.
I'm a smart cookie, let me tell you. I never thought I was like that much of an intelligent person, but after coming out of the show and doing as well as I did and playing the game as well as I did, I might not be book smart, but I'm very people smart,
It's the best way to
and
be, I think.
that's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. Um, and yeah, power can corrupt in the wrong hands, but in the right hands, it can actually really benefit you. And I think I had I had the right idea when I went into going into power, because I thought of the grafters. I wanted to win. Don't get me wrong; it's a game, but at the end of the day, like I took that and I took it as a responsibility, not as a risk.
Yeah.
Some people just took it as a risk and was just playing with people's lives while they were down there and say, yeah, let's do it. Let's smash that button. Not naming any names, but you'll a couple of scousers in there.
Although I
But
loved Eurovision this year. Sorry, let's chuck it in there.
I love. We can talk about
Thanks
that.
for
But yeah,
hosting Eurovision.
I know.
Yeah,
Yes,
fantastic.
yes. Thank you for hosting. But yeah, 100. Yeah, people. If people have power and they've never had it before, people will run with it and
Yeah.
do what they want.
I guess people, you don't really know what you're going to do until you've got it. Like some people probably don't even really know themselves until they've got that power. Like what you're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that Spider-Man adage, isn't it? Like what was it? Great.
With
Is it
great
great?
power comes with great responsibility.
That's the one. That is the one. So obviously we spoke about this before in our little pre-chat, but the actual reason why I wanted to bring you on board for this podcast wasn't actually necessarily Rise and Fall. It was all to do with a TikTok video that popped up on my For You page as I was scrolling through, wasting time, of you being really open and honest about kind of a little bit of a weird dating situation that happened to you. I feel like you should elaborate on that now moving forward.
Yeah, I'll open up on it. So yeah, so I was obviously on Grinder. I'm not on there anymore. I've come off it since. I wanted to get my zhuzh,
Yeah, of course, that is life. Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
I
And I
think
was speaking to
I think grind shame needs to go. By the way, I think it's ridiculous. Like, do
yeah,
you know what I mean? People using Tinder for exactly the same thing, but just because it's like affiliate with the gay community, it's like, oh, do you know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
removed myself off it for a little bit because I thought I don't want to make this TikTok and it's gone and then had 100,000 views and then still be on it.
wow,
I thought I need to give myself a grace period so no one can actually give me shit.
yeah, a hot second just to breathe. Yeah,
Yeah, a hot second. Yeah. So anyway, so I was speaking to this guy on there for a few days. It wasn't like I think it came across like I was speaking to him for 5 minutes. So he lived in
no,
England. I obviously live in Wales. We were chatting. Sent me loads of pictures of his face, and
nice.
the conversation just he was saying he's a teacher. Like it was just a conversation where nothing felt seedy.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we ended up exchanging numbers on WhatsApp and chatting away, and we just stopped speaking for a couple of days. And he messaged me again, and he basically said, "Oh, should I book a hotel by you at some point?" And I was like, "Do you know what? I feel like I need that. You
Yeah.
probably need that. That's fine. Yeah, if you want to come down and see me, here's the hotel closest to the motorway because it'd be easier for you. Obviously, it's a
Hmm.
Holiday Inn." And he's like, "Yeah, perfect. So what I'll do, I'll book the hotel, and I'll leave in like an hour or something." So book the hotel, chatting away like normal. And then the thing that for me that sort of made my brain switch a little bit, he kept getting me to try and send nudes,
I hate that
and
biggest ick
he
in the
was like,
world.
and and I was like, and I had to stop sending stuff like that because one, obviously, I've done the TV show, but two, in that same week, I had a link sent to me from this thread. I think it was on Reddit of people talking about my Grinder nudes. So
Really?
obviously on Grinder you can have an album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd sent out like this is probably like weeks ago. I sent an album to somebody and nothing came from it. And then there was just 3 pages of people trying to like get this person to send my nudes to them. And then there was also
What?
people like, "Oh, I found him on Grinder. He's this far away. He probably won't send them to me now because he thinks he's famous." So I had like that. I was already cautious, but then to sort of
Yeah.
seeing that, and then like someone's trying to get me to send picture of myself on WhatsApp. Right. I'm not going to do it. If they're going to come meet me,
Yeah.
right? So I thought I'm not going to send anything, which I didn't. And then I got myself ready to go. We left 20 minutes before he was going to get there. Rang him and he didn't answer. I just wanted to see if he was all right because he was driving an hour and 20 minutes away. All these red flags are now coming up, right? An hour and 20 minutes away. He's
Oh.
paid for the hotel, didn't want any money for it. Trying to get all these
He
pictures off me.
did he pay for the hotel? Did you pay for the hotel?
He paid for the hotel.
Okay.
I did offer. I said, "Oh, should I give you some cash for it?" Because I felt bad because he was driving down,
Hmm.
even though he was going to get the time of his life.
Yeah. Best time
obviously,
ever.
obviously.
Obs. Yeah.
And then, so anyway, so rang him. He didn't answer. I thought, okay, whatever, he's driving. And then I sent him a message on WhatsApp, and it didn't go through. It just went sent. You know, that's just the one tick.
Hmm.
I was like, all right then. And then all of a sudden, I had this thing in my head going, you should have rang the hotel. You should have rang the hotel to see if he's booked it. I thought, well, I'm almost there now. I might as well just turn up. So I rang him again, and then this time I went straight to voicemail. I was like, this is what's going on here. What is going on? So I rang my friend and said, "You ring this number for me and see if it goes to voicemail because I don't know what's happening. Like, just ring it for me." So she ended the call, rang it, came back to me and said, "No, it's not. It's not ringing for me either. I don't know why. Like, I 141'd it and everything." So I said, "I'm gonna have to ring the hotel because I think I've been like catfished or stood up
Yeah.
because they've been trying to they were begging for nudes of me basically, which is really weird because it's not it's not why I don't know why."
Yeah,
So I
like
rang the hotel and basically, it was the most awkward conversation ever. I'm sat outside this hotel at 10:45 p.m. at night. So I was like, "Hi, I'm just outside your hotel. My friend Danny, don't know his second name, has booked a hotel for us to meet up. I don't know his second name, but he is his mobile number." So gave him the mobile number, and they were like, "Okay," checked all the details, and said,
they
"Oh,
knew.
they knew. They knew
They
what
knew.
was happening.
They knew what's going on, yeah.
They knew. They knew what was happening." And they basically said, "Oh, sorry, there's no booking into that name or number."
And you were
So
there,
I was
parked
like,
up.
"What's that?"
And you were there, parked up or on your way.
I was there outside
Yeah,
the
oh my
hotel.
god.
I'm here, hotel, Holiday Inn, straight in front of me. But the weirdest thing was, right,
Yeah, that odd, yeah, red flag already,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like all like
Yeah.
these like legit things that would come up if you're driving. And then they sent me a picture of him driving, holding the wheel, and he had like his Apple Watch on. You could see like he was going like his like
The
maps was on his watch.
production budget on this story is
Yeah, and there was
extra,
other things sent to
extra.
me where this is probably you can, if you don't want to keep this in, you haven't got to. But he literally sent
That's
me
what,
a picture of his downstairs area whilst he was driving. So like, I'm so excited to meet you. With
safe
obviously,
drive, stay alive. Hello, be careful.
well,
Sorry.
exactly, and in
Exactly.
that same picture was his Apple Watch, like saying like turn left at this junction or whatever. So I was thinking to myself, clearly this person's on his way.
Yeah. Well, you think like that. It is so hard now that like I hear so many stories of this. And I feel like the catfishes are getting better. Like they're really like knowing how to
The
work it.
production budget's there, the money's
Literally,
there.
they are.
But you know
They are
what? Do you know what
serving.
the biggest part is? The desperation is there.
Yeah, it's there. And do you know what? I'm actually scared about AI because it's taken over, and I just think that is going to cause even more
Snapchat
chaos.
AI, you can talk to someone on Snapchat now that's a bot, and they'll talk to you like they're your friend.
You joking?
No, honestly, if you go
Seriously?
on to Snapchat, if you got it, yeah, you could just say, "Hi, I'm James. What's
Oh,
your name?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm an AI. I haven't got a name, but what are you up to today?" And they'll just chat to you like they're doing the day. It's wild.
the world's gone mad.
It has kind of.
I mean, I don't use Snapchat. I feel like for me, it's just like young people and
I
other
do you know what? I
things
don't
going on
use
down
it.
there.
Do you know what really gets me as well? If you're speaking to a guy and they're like, "Do you have
Oh,
Snapchat?"
oh, I hate it. I hate it. I knew you were going to
I
say it.
have
I
it. I
literally
don't
hate
use it.
it.
I'm like, "Sorry, no, don't have
No,
Snapchat."
I'm fine, thanks. Yeah. Also, it makes no sense. You've got WhatsApp, the WhatsApp picture timer now thing. You can get away with it on that if you needed
Or do you
to.
know what really? Do you know what was a throwback the other week? Just while I was still on this, someone said, "Do you have Kick?"
Kick.
Kick,
All right, sugar
K-I-K.
daddy.
Do you have Kick? I was like, are you in Dubai?"
You got BBM,
Yeah,
BB.
oh my god, MSN.
Oh, that is. Do you know what, though? I actually have a funny story. Well, not a funny story. I've been there, honestly. Like
Go on.
you do feel like a mug when that's happened to you because so this going back a while back. This is before my self love era, and I was a hopeless romantic. Like my favorite film was Titanic. Like I'm an unrequited love kind of boy. Like this is who I am. Um, so all those things you were saying, I was like total icks for me as well. But I was talking to this guy. He popped up on Instagram, slid in my DMs, as you do, and he was fit. Like I'm not gonna lie, he actually was really fit. And the other thing was a bit of a bonus for me. He was 6'4", and I'm 6'4". Not that I'm like it's an
Same.
issue, but are you?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bonus because not that I'm having any issue with heights, but in my mind I'm always like, just that I like heights. One of those things. So we're talking. He's like, does that? He did that. What's it? A muddy rudder thing? Muddy marathon thing? What is
Tough
it?
mudder.
Tough Mudder. Shows how much I'm into fitness. And he's talking like literally constantly love bombing, love bombing. Was really weird about sending pictures and stuff like that. So I should have known at the time, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. And then he was like, "I want to meet you in London." So I was like, "Okay, why not?" Like, do you know what I mean? So I like planned to meet my friend beforehand and then meet him. So he texted me and like, "Oh, I can't make it." I was like, "Oh, okay." Bear in mind, he already dropped the L bomb. I forgot to add that in. He dropped the L bomb to me prior,
Well, he loves you.
which apparently so. Yeah, I mean, I was young, naive, twisted, had issues. Hot mess still rising. But he then messaged me being like, I can't see you at the moment. I've got to like deal with my friend. And I was like, well, that's totally fine. Like, of course, I understand like things happen. He's like, I'll see you later. I was like, okay, cool. So I went to see my friend. And my friend Molly, actually, she I think she must have thought I was a nutter, but she was like, we had lunch together. And she was like, so what are you going to do then? You're going to wait for him? And I was like, yeah, like, that's what I'll do because I'm a nice guy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm interested. You've maybe not feel like this is weird. And then I sat in Pret a Manger. I can't remember what it was. It was somewhere in London till literally closing time, 11, dedication. I know, what a mug. And um,
Bless you.
then I would just text him and be like, I will have to get the last train home at some point. So what's happening? He was like, oh yeah, I can't see you, which is fine. I was like, okay, cool. Me still being a mug should have ended it there, left it, like not carrying on this conversation. I was like messaging him still, and he was still talking like absolutely fine. And then all of a sudden, I got this like backbone and was just like, but you are like messing me about. And then I got this like literally pages of abuse sent to me, and then blocked, deleted, never spoken to again. So banner.
Page of abuse.
Literally like how
Why was he sending you
I
abuse?
I don't know, it's just like basically like how I couldn't trust him, like real proper narcissistic, like really twisted stuff. And I thought, you are
Narcissistic.
toxic. You are
Oh,
toxic.
we'll get on to narcissistic,
I feel like
toxic
yeah, let's talk
relationships.
about it now. How's that what's that brought out in you?
What, the narcissistic, toxic?
Yeah, what was that given?
Oh my god! Well, I had my only relationship as a gay man. It was just, oh my god, toxic, narcissistic men, especially in the
Yeah,
gay community, right? Like, I was recently speaking to somebody, and I hadn't met them yet. I was speaking to them. They found me on Instagram. They messaged me, and they live in Cheltenham. Cool, cool, cool.
nice.
We were chatting away, and like it got so intense so quickly. This person, and
Yeah,
he like wants to FaceTime me every night, and I was like, well, I'm busy. Like I get home at 7. I got to eat, meal prep, and I have like an hour to myself. So do I want to give it to you, or do I want to give it to myself? And I'm
yeah,
gonna be selfish and have it to myself. And then um, it was just constant like, oh, you're not chatty. When are you gonna come see me then? Um, oh, like, oh, when we're together, and like they would like already talk about us being together, and I'd never met him, and kids, and all these things, and
yeah,
then like, do you know what I mean? Like I was like, it, literally last week, I was driving up to Stoke-on-Trent. He goes, "Oh, ring me whenever you want to." And I thought, okay, fine, I'm going to listen to a podcast and blast Renaissance. I fucking love Beyonce. And I
yeah.
had to sing. I sang my heart out for an hour and a half because I wanted to. Rang him in the last 20 minutes, and he was like, "Oh, so you're ringing me now, are you? Got 20 minutes left of your journey. Why are you bothering to ring me now? Because I
What's that?
want to ring you now. Oh, clearly you don't want to talk to me." I was like, "Well, we're adults. I've not even met you yet.
Yeah, like chill.
Why are you
What?
being possessive?"
Red flag right
That was
there.
huge red flags. And then on the Monday, then he's like, "Oh, you're gonna come meet me?" I said, "You know what? No, I think we're clashing already. I don't think we're not compatible. You're very headstrong. I'm very headstrong, and you clearly think I'm not that interested when I'm busy and we've both got lives to live."
Yeah,
Um, and no, he goes, "Oh, so what are you saying then?" I was like,
I'm not
I literally was like, "What do you mean? What am I saying?" So I literally wrote, "I am not keen. Full stop. Send."
with the asterisk to make it bold. I am not
Yes,
keen.
yes, yes, yes. And
Yeah.
then rang me, tried to ring me to talk to me about it. And I thought, I don't know you really. I don't owe you any more time.
No,
Didn't
yeah.
answer. And he's like, okay, we'll take care on WhatsApp. Fine. A couple days later, Instagram then. I don't know what I've done to deserve this.
Oh no.
It's like, what the fuck? I've spoken to you for
Yeah.
you've known me for 5 days. You might have watched me on TikTok or on a TV show. It doesn't mean you know me. But the reason I sort of called out the red flags in that situation is because of my toxic 4 year relationship with the person who I thought I was in love with
Yeah.
had all the tendencies of narcissistic behavior, gaslighting, all of the stuff you can possibly think of wrapped into one terrible person, to be completely honest. So having that situation for 4 years has made me learn what I will put up with, what I won't put up with, and what is not my vibe. And if you're not on my
Yeah.
vibration from day one, you will never be. I will never accept it because of my self
Yeah.
worth.
Snaps for you. That is 100%. It's taken me a long time to actually realise that, I think, as well. Like I said, I've always been a sucker for love, but I've actually never had a relationship. Well, let's you count the one on television, but apart from that, I mean, like It's not. Yeah, I've never had
Well,
one,
how
and
old are you?
I say I'm 26 in COVID years because we lost 2 years. I'm 28 though.
You're
I'm
28.
old.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, I'm not long turned. Well, I say not long. I turned 26 in November.
Oh, you've got a
But
whole life to live.
I've got a whole other 2 years to live yet before. um, but yeah, it's mad, isn't it? How some people. It's a lot more common in the community, in our community, where people have not had
Hmm.
official relationships or proper relationships. Whereas my relationship for 4 years was with someone who was basically closeted because they couldn't come out because of their family history and religion and whatever. And I mean, now you said you're a sucker for love. I think I'm so harsh on love that I don't think I ever want it. Like I speak to people, I think I like you, and it gets to a point where I'm like, I know it's not all it's made up to be, so I don't need it.
Yeah, no, and I'm the same. I think my friend actually called me out on it the other week. She was like, "Are you actually not?" Because I'm like, I don't want a relationship. I just want to be in love with myself. Basically, it's my new era. And she was like, "But I just think you're jaded. Like I feel like you've got just a few things have happened to you, like made you resist it." I was like, "No," but it is true. I think you do build a bit of a barrier up, and it's like more common nowadays. You either get one or the other. I think you either get someone who like a couple that literally are drawn together and like build a lovely life together, or you get like the opposite, people like I'm just chilling by myself and doing my own thing.
No, I completely agree, and I think, especially in the community, we have a lot of people who get into their relationships and then they're basically married in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
We see that like they move fast, they move in dog years, basically, don't they?
Yeah.
And then it sort of doesn't scare you as such, but for me, it's more like, okay, well, how do we change the narrative, one person at a time, to make sure we have the self respect, but we get given the respect that we deserve, and not put
Mm.
up with subpar standards that we think we
Yeah,
deserve.
it's hard. It's a balancing act, isn't it, as well? It's really hard. But I know I'm definitely the same when I see people like find someone then engage like 3 weeks later. I'm like, that's wild. Although I was a
Mm.
sucker of love, I still had my like head kind of on a little bit. I mean,
As you
each their
should.
own.
Yeah, as you
But
should.
no, it is, and I think as well, dating world is kind of like it's hard because there's people who are like so like resistant or like who are just wasting your time basically, and then you've got the other part of it where they're like so overly love bombing you. Like I didn't even know love bomb was a word until last year, so learn something every day. But it's true, like you have a like constantly like trying to get like muddled through both sort of sides of the whole thing. There's like no actual middle ground, I don't think.
Yeah, the middle ground is non-existent. It's either 100% or 0%, and that's how it
Yeah.
feels. And I think, for me personally, when it comes to me dating people, like, I think because for such a long time, for the 4 years of my relationship, so I came out at 20, and that was when I
Mm.
was with my partner at the time. So I had never really experienced being a single gay male. Like I've always been gay, but I didn't come out until I was 20. I knew I was gay from a very young age, but to come out
Yeah.
to be in a proper relationship and then experience the stuff I put up with for 4 years, and then now that I've been single for basically two, like I think I've either set my standards too high or my level of respect too high. Do you know what I mean? Because there's things that'll happen on a date or we speak to someone for a couple of weeks that I don't vibe with, and then I think, okay, well, I'm going to take a step back from you because I'm not going to put up with that now.
Yeah.
If you think you can act like this to me now whilst we're dating, what are you going to pull out of your bag when we're in a relationship and you've secured me a little bit more? So I
Yeah.
take that back quite quick.
Yeah, I call it the probation period. Like a job, you put your best foot forward, and I feel like you need to prove to me, especially now I'm the mindset that I'm in. You need to
Mindset you're
prove
in
to
now.
me, yeah, that you are someone worth wasting time, not wasting time on, but relationships are hard work. There's a lot of energy that goes into maintaining a relationship, especially an intimate one. Like it is a distraction. So if it's gonna like take me away from all my dreams and goals or whatever I want to achieve for myself, it has to be something worthwhile. So you have to prove to me that you're the person that's going to be able to sort of like slip through the net, really, I guess.
No, you are so right. And when you said the dreams and goals bit, that literally like hit a nerve because
Hmm.
like you're doing something like this now, which is going to take a lot of time, a lot of
Yeah,
energy, a lot of effort to get off the ground, and then once it's off the ground, it needs more time and energy. You
Yeah.
know, vice versa. Like what I'm doing now is trying to build some sort of platform for exposure, and you know that takes a long time, and you know your mindset needs to be so focused on one thing. And
Mm.
I mean, if people aren't trying to achieve something, they don't understand the ethic behind your work, and they
Yeah.
might not see your goals or understand your journey you're on. And that's sometimes really hard as well when you're dating people, isn't it? Because they just think, oh, well, don't worry about that. Just come see me instead. It's like, whoa, no, 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 hang on. Time is so valuable. Time is so precious. Like I made a TikTok the other day where you're like, you sleep for 33 years of your life.
Do you?
Yeah. You sleep for 33
Wow.
years of your life. You spend like 11 years eating. So much time is already taken by prerequisites of modern society: sleeping,
Hmm.
working, eating, going to toilet, meeting friends, family. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the time you have to do the things you want to have is so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Use that to better yourself, and then you might find someone you want to be with.
What it all boils down to is, I think we've all been told by Disney and every other thing, like the films that I love, that we all need like a knight in shining armor. And the truth is, you are your own knight in shining armor. You
Be
don't
your own
need,
hero.
yeah, literally, that's really the crux of it all, isn't it? I guess it's like put yourself first, and then when you build the life that you are proud of or you're happy with, then maybe it's time to share more of that.
We're in 2023.
But
You got glass ceilings that you need to break through. You don't need a
oh,
man. Do you know what I mean?
but that housewife life sounds amazing. I'd just give me a white Jeep, like white Jeep now. Pick up the kids on a Friday, take them to McDonald's. I could live it. I could love it.
Could you live it?
I could love it. Literally sat there watching reruns of like Real Housewives. Yeah, 100% down for
I enjoy I enjoy being busy. I really do. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it.
like the idea of living a life of a 9 till 5 and coming home to a husband and kids, like to me, is just no,
Yeah,
no.
no, I hear that. I do hear that. I've tried not the husband and kids bit, but I've tried the 9 to 5, and I'm like, this isn't for me. This is not.
Yeah,
I'm too much of a free spirit. Like I want my
yeah. Nine
own
till five is a
thing.
no go.
Mm. And then I guess that also makes dating hard as well, because when I think, especially when you're like a creative, which obviously you are as well, because you're like content creating, or an is that right?
Entrepreneur, yeah.
Entrepreneur. You, I feel like again your expectations of relationships change, because if you're kind of like in the corporate world and working your way up, like in a normal sort of like job setting, 9 to 5, it does make sense to add someone into that mix, because you've kind of got a level of stability that I guess freelance people or people who kind of take a risk don't. So that also adds a little bit of a flair onto the conversation, doesn't it? I guess.
Yeah, no, you are right. I guess it's like what you just said there is very much like the gender norms almost, isn't it? And
Yeah.
even like within the gay community, like we people sort of strive for the gender norms, but with two men, when you're already breaking the normal society movements, like you're two gay men or you're two men in a relationship. Like the world isn't designed for two men. It's designed for a man and a woman. It's designed for maternity leave, and you have 2 weeks off, and the female has 9 to 12 months off. It's not designed for a relationship, is designed for monogamy.
Yeah. But things are changing. Things are shifting.
Slowly but surely, and this is why these conversations are important, regardless of if it's a very like this conversation could go far, it could not go far, but these are conversations that need to happen.
Yeah, and I think also just people listening to it and being like, oh, actually, then like, yeah, I kind of relate to that, because I think
Yeah.
it's bloody hard out there, like to figure out, especially when you like throw in a relationship in the mix. But I thank you for sharing your story, though. Like, it's quite amazing actually you did that as well, as being so honest and candid on like TikTok, because that takes some balls. It really does.
Yeah, the being honest and candid of TikTok for me at the moment, I think, is what is drawing people into me. Because like a few
Mm.
weeks ago, I had 500 followers, and now I've got nearly 12,000 followers, and the growth
Ah,
has been quite big. And I think that's something I've always been, is quite an open and honest person, and like to share like the highs and the lows of life with people I care for. And I think
yeah,
that's the sort of platform I'm trying to build now. Is like I'm really into my skincare. I'm really into makeup for men. I'm really into health and wellness and mental stability for people, and make it, and like I love to help people and make people see the worth in themselves and make people see the best version of themselves, even if right now they're at rock bottom.
hmm.
You know
Can
what
you
I
hear the
mean?
ice cream man outside?
I
Sorry, that's
can.
good banter. So guys, an ice cream man comes to my house every week. It's just really annoying. Pick the worst time to
Oh
do
yeah,
this.
is it just your house?
I don't actually get them, to be fair. Although I actually now I'm thinking I wouldn't mind a 99p like Flake.
A 99p, that's now £5.
It's actually.
Oh my god, yeah, the 99p's are no longer 99p. Like a Freddo, they're like a quid.
Right, okay, I'm calling trading standards because that's out of order. That's false advertisement
Yes.
right there. So you can't call it
Trading
99p now, then that's out of order.
Well, no,
Vile.
exactly.
Also, literally just ice cream and a bit of chocolate. Like, chill out. It's nothing special.
And a flake. No, and a very crap biscuit. Might as well
Oh
go to
yeah, true.
McDonald's for £1.90 and you get a McFlurry, be fine.
So, you're a PT, aren't you?
Yeah, so part time, I say fitness trainer because I do more group exercise. But I have
Nice.
been a full time PT in the past. So yes, I say fitness trainer now.
Are you still an employment coach? Because that was what
I
the rise
am.
and
So
fall.
full time, I'm an employment coach and I basically rehabilitate people back into working life, into working society. So some of them just haven't had jobs for a while. Some of them have had like illnesses that they've just come out of and, they need like
Mm.
help with confidence building and, building a CV to understanding how to do well in an interview to literally saying you are enough to have a job. Like some people like we deal with either being alcoholics or drug addicts and they don't see their self-worth anymore, so you have to build their self-worth back up to be able to just to get a job in a supermarket. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
literally go and find a
yeah.
job, minimum wage, and some of them don't feel like they have the worth to do that. So and then there's the other spectrum of people who just don't want to work and want to stay on benefits.
Mm.
So there's a
Yeah.
whole scope of it. But then on the outside, then I still do all my fitness training stuff. So I do probably that like 3 nights a week on top of that, and then I do all my content creation and my events and go on with my management. So now I have no physical time to do anything.
So relationships are actually out of the question now.
They have to be
So
until I find a level playing field for everything. They have to be, and I don't care. I'm 26. I don't need a Bridgerton fairy tale.
no, it's. I don't even like Bridgerton. It's so. I'm sorry, guys. Don't come at me, but I literally don't like it.
I did just finish watching Queen Charlotte before this
Uh,
podcast, and
Apparently, there is a gay relationship in that one. Actually, I've heard.
there is a gay relationship, and they do dance to "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston on a violin, and it is heartbreaking.
That is
I
totes emotion.
It did choke me. Not
Did shed a tear.
it did make me shed a tear.
Oh, okay. Oh, I might watch it. It's not for me. I feel like it's just 50 Shades of Grey, but Pride and Prejudice. I feel like people need to just chill.
Queen Charlotte wasn't too bad actually. There was sex in it, but it wasn't like about the sex. It was about a love story of two people who shouldn't be together, who come together and then form a very strong relationship, and they understand each other when nobody else will.
Okay, so I don't need to watch it now. Spoiler.
It was cute. No, 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 no. It was cute. It's very nice.
Okay, I might give it a shot. But actually, to be fair, I Kissed a Boy's just come out this week, so that
It
might be
has.
my
Oh my
next
god! You know what?
binge.
I really wanted to go to the premiere of that, but I didn't get
You
to go.
said, do you not? Oh, that's all right. Series 2 that comes
No,
out.
I'll be on it.
Don't-
Should we go on
I'm
it
not.
together?
I'm all right. Thanks. No more dating shows for me ever again. Ever again.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So, like me, you're quite into the spiritual realm, aren't you? Like, you're actually not a stranger to the world of spirituality. Why is that?
So I love spirituality. I love the spirit world. I love anything to do with just the world that we can't see but is so there. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely love
Yeah.
it. So my mum and my sister are both mediums. They speak to spirits. They do also do physical mediumship. And my mum has recently started to explore life um, as a medium who does it through art. So she allows spirit to draw pictures of the loved ones that she's never
Really?
met or seen before. Yeah, so the spirit will channel through her, and the energy will go into her hand, and the pencil, and she will then draw pictures of the people that are in spirit, and then she'll be like, "Oh, is this your?"
That's right. We love dogs on Hot Mess Rising.
Well, that's my black Labrador.
Oh, we love a Labrador. Such good
I
family dogs.
think he's stuck now. So so then she'll draw the picture of say it's your nan or your granddad, and be like, "Oh, is this so and so?" And then 9 times out of 10, I'm like, "Yeah, that's what he looked like."
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the sort of stuff she does. But she's been doing it since I was like 12, 13, and she developed her skill, and my sister developed her skill as well. Because we're all born with the talent or the skill to open up our third eye, which is apparently actually there, all that jazz, to speak to the spirit world. But you're able to, some people are more in tune to it. As children, we're all very in tune to it, but the more you grow up, the more you sort of close yourself off naturally. But you have the ability to go and train and open up your ability to speak to the spirit world and raise the vibrations to meet their level, and vice versa. So my mum's trained to do it. So she does Reiki healing as well with her hands and all. Yeah, my mum's incredible, and my sister does. My sister's really good with tarot card readings as well.
All right, okay, so I'm definitely note to self doing a podcast episode with your mum and sister. That has a vibe.
Yeah, no, honestly, my mum loves it, and she never does it for money because she's very passionate about it. But I think the
Yeah.
spirituality for me is like I've never really explored it. Like I'm very in tune with my spiritual side, and the gut instincts and things like that, and
Mm.
speaking to the spirit world, because I ask them every day to help me just to be a better person, to achieve my goals, and steer me on the right track. And I believe the people who are supporting me, who have passed, have already paved the path that I'm now walking, and they're like
Yeah.
helping me stay on that path. And
That's so
sometimes,
nice.
yeah, and sometimes the things I have to go through are there for now a purpose of, okay, this is going to be a reason for you to help other people, because that's what I feel like I'm there for.
Oh, that's so lush. I love that. Obviously, the thing I want to do every episode is something called the Hot Mess Helpline. So basically, what I've done is I've gone to socials and asked people for any like stories they may have or any bits of advice that they are looking for, and me and a guest are going to just put our two pennies worth in because why not? So, you ready, James?
Yes, I'm
We've
so
only got
excited.
two today because I did get a few, but I thought I'm going to space them out. So we've got, okay, me, 20 female, and my boyfriend of 3 years have been having some issues lately around our own time. Often, I would stay at his house on the weekends, and then he would also stay at mine one night on a Wednesday. Lately, it's been, air quotes, bothering him, so he has asked if we can try out me only spending Sunday and Wednesdays with him as he needs his alone time. However, he will spend hours on call and gaming with his friends, which I don't have a problem with, as I understand this is how he chooses to relax. I guess I just get mixed signals because he says he wants alone time, yet that only seems to mean without me, because it doesn't seem to count with his friends. Any advice? That that actually we touched upon this actually a little bit in the episode.
Yeah, we do.
You go first because I feel like we're going to be the same. I think.
I reckon we're going to be good cop, bad cop in this situation. I'm going to be bad cop and say it sounds like because he's spending his own time without you with other people, it might be making you insecure. But what you need to think about is when you are with somebody in a relationship and you're with your partner, you're a different person than when you are with your friends. And the time you
Mm,
spend with your friends is a relief from a partner, from a bad day at work. So don't take it offensively. Take it in and like it's good that you are both wanting to spend, that time apart. But don't take it to heart if he's wanting to play on his game or on his PlayStation. Like
yeah.
boys will be boys, right? It's good, it's healthy, and it's better that he's gaming than he's going to the club on a Wednesday.
What is he gaming though? That's what I think. That's where the insecurity is stepping in, isn't it?
But then again, that's where we have the open and honest conversation.
Yeah, true, true. To be fair as well, he's only dropped. Has it dropped the Saturday? Because it's still you saw him on a Wednesday and the weekends, so you just dropped the Saturday. So there's only one day without him.
Exactly. So it's only one day
It's not
without
that
him,
deep.
and you don't need to be so dependent on him. But if it is
Yeah.
such a bother, the key thing in any relationship and any friendship is communication. And if it bothers you, have that conversation to adapt it so it benefits the both of you and not make you feel any less than who you are.
I wonder whether because they actually said that actually they know deep down that their feelings are insecure because I think you would have just spoke about it personally. I don't know.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts? What would be your advice in this
I actually
situation?
kind of agree with you actually a little bit. I do think relate like I said we said before, relationships are a lot of effort, and I do think um it's important to not be with each other 24/7. I think it's
Hmm.
really healthy actually for a relationship. Not that I've had one, so I'm chatting out my ass. But I would say you don't want to be in each other's pockets because obviously, like you've got nothing to talk about for a start off. Like if you're just with each other 24/7, I know people who are like in relationships, working together, living together. Like,
Uh,
what do you talk about? What do you discuss?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I think that's very good advice. It is. It's so plain and simple, and it technically shouldn't even be a problem.
No, yeah. It's
My question
just,
back to her is, if you can ask her, how long have they been together? If it's
I
a
mean, this is
10-year relationship,
anonymous, so I wouldn't be able to do that.
oh, I
But
guess you can't. The question I
if
would
you
ask
listen to
is,
the episode, you get.
if you listen, how long have you been together? If it's, I
Mm,
reckon this person, they've probably been together for 6 months to a year. It's very much that honeymoon period. Or if they've been together for 10 years and they're still worrying about not spending time together, there's more bigger fish to fry.
yeah, be careful what you wish for, because he might be like besotted with you in like two
Yeah.
weeks, and you'll be like, get away from me, got the ick. Bye. The last one, I think it's a quick one. This one, first date. The barman asks how my day is. General chit chat and all that jazz. Sit back at the table, and my date has a go at me for speaking to the barman. So what? I was out of there within minutes.
Gagged.
Ah, that toxic. Toxic.
You go
Fair play for
first.
getting out of there. Yeah, no, I mean, firstly, you made the right decision getting out of there. That's what would that person expect you to be like? Oh, like just don't talk to anybody, like mute and not speak. Like what?
Do you know what? It's so telling when somebody reacts that way when you're talking to somebody who is like in the hospitality industry. I seen this meme ages ago, and it said,
Yeah,
"Notice how your partner or date speaks to the person serving your food or drinks, and that shows their true reflection of who they are."
that is so true. And do you know what? I didn't even think of that. I was thinking it from my head, like the point of view of like the person was being possessive, because I assumed the barman was a cisgendered male. Probably shouldn't have assumed that. Sorry, but you've obviously said about the hospitality thing, and that's also so true as well.
So one thing, yeah, red flag. You have the right to talk to whoever you want to talk to,
You do,
regardless
yeah.
if you've known this person for 6 hours or 6 years. So he needs to get his ego in check. But also,
Yes.
if he has an issue with you talking to someone who is basically serving you, again, get your ego in check, because you're probably working a 9 till 5 also, so you're not that much better. But
Exactly.
well
That's
done
all
for
just
getting out of
hustling.
there. Well done for getting
Yeah,
out of there. I love that.
de- definitely agree with that. I can't believe some people though. That's what puts me off dating. I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. It's too
Oh,
much.
it winds me up. Like, why? I don't understand. I've never understood why people think they have the right to control people,
Yeah.
because
Sorry.
it's just people who are possessive, who are so overbearing on you. It's not because they love you. It's because they are so consumed with their insecurity that it's the only way that they can reflect that onto you is by making you feel less.
Yeah. Know your worth. Know your worth.
Know your worth.
And be your own knight in shining armor. Back to that one again.
Yeah, be your own knight in shining armor. Be the person that you need to be, and
Yeah.
the rest will fall into place.
So there you have it, our very first episode. Thank you so much, James, for coming on. It's been a pleasure. I've loved chatting with you. How have you found being one of our first Hot Mess Rising guests?
I've absolutely loved it. You're so easy and calm to talk to, and this has felt like the best therapy session I've ever needed. And thank you
I'll
for
pay you
just
later.
having me and talking to me about so much enlightening stuff. It's been great.
No, I do appreciate it, honestly. And what's next for you? What have you got planned?
So I've just recently signed to management, have I spoken about? So I've got a couple of events coming up. I've got a fashion show next week in Cardiff, celebrating Welsh
Oh,
fashion, which
lovely.
is exciting.
Yes, we love it. Love to see
And
it.
then I've got a music party to go to, which is a launch of this new artist's new era of what they're sort of going into in London in a few weeks' time. And yeah, potentially a few more things coming up. So hopefully I'll be on your screens again in a couple of months.
So there you have it, our very first episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. It honestly means the world. And don't you worry, there's plenty more juicy stuff to come. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast from. That way, you'll never miss an episode. And make sure to follow and reach out to us on our socials at Hot Mess Rising Pod. But until next time, remember, life can sometimes be messy. So embrace the messy, learn from it, and keep rising. Lots of love.